Assalamu alaikum. I'm Hamad Ayman Zain from class 10B2, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my third quarter English project. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin.
Oh my god, it was just a dream.
Who is your Lord? What religion do you follow? Who is your prophet?
No. No. No, this can't be possible.
Lord Randall is a traditional Scottish ballad from the late Middle Ages. We can tell that it's Scottish from the 17th to 1800s by looking at and analysing Lord Randall and his mother's dialect. The mood and tone of the ballad Lord Randall are melancholic, ominous, and mournful. The ballad begins with Lord Randall returning home from hunting and being questioned by his mother about both his whereabouts and well-being. However, as the conversation progresses, it becomes increasingly clear that something isn't right. The ballad consists of 10 stanzas, each of 4 lines. Each one of those 10 stanzas builds on the previous one to create a tragic tale of betrayal and deceit. As the ballad continues, we find out that Lord Randall has been poisoned by his true love, leading to his tragic demise. This revelation adds a layer of betrayal and despair to the overall mood of the ballad, making it a haunting tale of love gone wrong. Now let me take you through a stanza-by-stanza explanation. In the first stanza, Lord Randall's mother questions him about where he's been. He tells her that he's been hunting in the greenwood and that he's tired and wants to rest. He also tells her he'll make his bed soon, or as they say in Scottish, I'm tired and fain wad lie down. Mak my bed soon. They had a pretty weird dialect back then. In the second stanza, we learn that Lord Randall had met his true love while away hunting in the greenwood. In the third stanza, the mother asks her son what his true love gave him. Eels fried in a pan, replied Lord Randall. In the fourth stanza, the mother asks her son, what gat your leavings? Which means, what have you received or obtained from your hunting trip? The term leavings is a Scottish dialect word for the spoils of the hunt, which means what he basically got while hunting. Lord Randall tells his mother that he has gotten hawks and hounds, which are types of hunting birds and dogs. The fifth stanza states that Lord Randall's hawks and hounds stretched out their legs and died as a result of eating the fried eels. In the sixth stanza, Lord Randall's mother tells him that she's afraid that he's poisoned by the eels fed to him by his true love, since he ate the same eels that he fed to his hawks and hounds. His hawks and hounds died as a result of eating it. So, if they died, and he ate the same thing that they ate before they died, it means he also got poisoned and he will die too, right? Lord Randall then says that yes, indeed, he is poisoned, but he is also sick at the heart. This displays that he felt betrayed by his true love and is now heartbroken and astonished by her actions, as he loved her and would protect her forever and thought that his feelings were reciprocated. But as the saying goes, sometimes the person you take a bullet for ends up the person behind the gun. Now knowing the death of her son is soon approaching, Lord Randall's mother starts asking him about what he will leave for each of his family members after he passes. This happens in the 7th to 10th stanzas. When asked about his sister, he said he'd leave her his gold and silver, and all of his houses and lands for his brother. Finally, the mother asked what he was going to leave for his true love. I leave her hell and fire, replied Lord Randall. He said that because of all the negative emotions that he had developed after finding out that he had been poisoned by his true love. Some of the things he felt were betrayal, heartbreak, confusion, realization that the end is near, and paranoia. He most likely also developed some trust issues after that. You can't really blame him though, since the person he claimed to be his true love turned out to be the one sending him to his grave. Or so we think. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you The Tonight Show, featuring Muhammad Fallon, aka me. Now today, on tonight's episode of this show, on tonight's episode of The Tonight Show, sorry guys, we mess up a lot. Anyways, on tonight's episode of The Tonight Show, we're going to be having a very, very important guest who you guys are going to like. He's going to be updating us about the recent few murders that have happened with Lord Randall and his true love. Let's get straight to it. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sheriff Muhammad Azan. I'm the lead sheriff of this town. I've also been the sheriff put in charge of the Lord Randall case. It's a pretty mysterious case. You guys will like to hear the details. Now, let's start off by asking, why was his love in the forest? Yes, very good question. Lord Randall and his love had a heated argument. This made his true love sad, mad, confused, and she just filled up with all these emotions. So, to cure that, she ran away and went into the greenwood to cry, think about what happened, and clear her mind. Then, she was going to return home, which is where Lord Randall was. Well, why was Lord Randall in the forest? Well, since his true love ran out and headed to the greenwood forest, he went there too, and well, as her lover, he knew she loved going to the forest and just being in nature. He also took his barrel with him as a way to reconcile with his true love. He would apologize and ask her if she wanted to hunt some animals with him as a fun activity meant to clear the bad blood and instead bring them closer together. Aww, such a sweet, kind-hearted man. She's lucky to have him. Who and or what killed Lord Randall? After interrogating his mother and after some of our own investigating, this is some of the evidence we found. His true love isn't really the one who killed him. In fact, we found remains of her body in the middle of the greenwood, and the cause of death was, well, rather peculiar. We found some sort of magical fairy dust, claw marks, bite marks, and burn marks. We were barely able to recognize her. According to our scientists, they say she was murdered about 3 to 4 days prior to the death of Mr. Randall. Since he said he had saw her, they put their differences aside, they went hunting together, and she cooked for him. We're assuming this weird magical fairy bear creature thing copied her appearance, her voice, her knowledge, and basically just about everything about her. It was somehow able to shapeshift into her whenever it wanted and without a single trace. This is very, very terrifying, and multiple people from our investigation squad have actually had nightmares about this, and it's haunting them, and it probably will continue to haunt them. This thing is very, very traumatizing. How did it kill him? How did it kill him? Good question, good question. His health condition was at its peak, which is very, very absurd, knowing that his heart just stopped beating all of a sudden, and his whole respiratory system just suddenly stopped working too. We're still running tests, but we're almost certain that the magical fairy bear creature planted some wolfsbane into the eels fried in a pan. He fed it to his animals, and they died too, right? He fed his animals everything he ate, but as soon as he fed them, the eels fried in a pan, they stretched their legs out, and they died. Even though he fed them from everything, they died immediately 25 minutes after eating the eels fried in a pan. This means that the wolfsbane was put into the eels that they ate, because if it was put into anything else, they would have died from that, right? But they didn't die from anything until they ate the wolfsbane. This is very, very strange and suspicious. Why did it kill him? We have our team working with the military in Area 51 in hopes of catching this beast. Since we've never seen anything like it, our hypothesis is that it's some extraterrestrial creature that came to our planet to gain the knowledge and strength of us humans, then kill all humans, take our land, and claim it as their own. We have no idea why they want to do that, but it's what happens in movies, so who knows. So please try to remember that this is only what we think could happen. It isn't what actually will. One more thing before this episode ends. Please do not go to any forests, because that is most likely where they will be. All of these creatures and these fairies and magical fairy bear creature thing. This weird thing. It was a very traumatizing experience. Most of my team and my squad have had nightmares about this. I personally have had 1 or 2 nightmares. It is very scary, terrifying, horrifying. The things we have seen while doing this and while investigating are just unimaginable. And like you won't even I'm just lost for words, to be honest. This was one of the worst cases I've ever had to deal with as my career in being a sheriff. I'm gonna be having nightmares about that tonight. Anyways, thank you so much for coming here tonight, Mr. Sheriff. Thank you for having me. Thank you. And I hope you guys liked that. It was a bit terrifying for me over here. I can't even collect my thoughts together. It's quite... I'm gonna be having nightmares. Alright, thank you guys for coming out here tonight. And most of all, thank you to Mr. Sheriff for being here, being a part of this. And yeah, just like that, we'll end the interview. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and have a good night. Good night. Yep. Assalamu alaikum.